Aloha and welcome to Java. Happy Friday. This is for February 23rd, 2024. As always, a lot to go over, not all of its markets, so if you would stay to the end. And if you don't mind, give it a like, that helps the algorithms. So let's go right into what's going on. Our risk has been increasing in the markets, watching the MMRI, right about 280 right now. So this is with the sharp increase in value in Nvidia that has been going on. We are watched also with the jobless claims yesterday. This increased the 10-year yield. So as interest rose in that, put pressure on the stocks toward the middle end of the day. We've got a mixed board as it is right now, as well as futures. We've got oil under pressure right now. They're saying that's under lower demand, but I think we're also going to have a supply issue. And this is going to, I expect this to increase probably the next few days or so. We've got a lot of economic data coming out next week, more inflation that could really move the markets. So going right into central banks, because there's quite a bit going on globally. We've got the Dutch central bank are increasing their losses because they are now having to refinance their debt and they're feeling the interest rate hikes that have happened there. They all affect each other. Good part of this is because they do own quite a bit of United States real estate in their portfolio as well as over in China. So with that, we had the Chinese central bank doing a lot of easing right now for their economy. They are showing signs of instability. They had to put a floor underneath the stock market and ban all selling. So they're basically pumping a lot of money into their economy. And just their trade balances are a little bit unstable as well. So definitely watch them. They're a huge world economy and will have an effect that will shake out globally. So we've got European Central Bank talking about how they are unlikely to cut interest rates before the Federal Reserve in the United States. And I would just like to say, Mr. Holtzman, not likely. You're going to cut first because you have to. The Eurozone does not have the strength that the United States dollar has, nor does it have the military backing. So with that, you will cut at the very least at the same time. So if not before, the United States has to cut after. Otherwise, they will decimate the euro. And any of you that trade foreign currency, foreign exchange out there, you know what I'm talking about. I would like to get your opinion on that. If you would leave it in the comments, tell me if I'm off base with that. So, yesterday we did get jobless claims, unexpectedly fell to the lowest level in over a month. So, the narrative we're getting is even though we had some disappointing numbers, is that the US economy continues to look like an amazing success story. So, what are they kind of basing this off? Are cooked numbers and also with the GDP, which, as we have spoken about before, includes all of the war spending, all of the bombs, all of this that we're sending over there. So, we have to kind of take this with a grain of salt. It's not the economy as we'll see in a moment. So, we'll go to the real economy. Is that we are looking for more economy and inflation data coming in next week. And as I said, that could be potentially market moving. So we'll cover that as it comes. We have Reddit. The platform will be looking to publicly list. Prior to doing this, they are balancing a lot of their reserves into cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, bringing this out because more companies now that they're allowed are diversifying into these assets. So, just something to look forward to. As they're saying that you should not own these, central banks are telling you not to purchase them. So, it tells me that's exactly what I want to be doing. So, with this moving into the real estate sector, we've got this first chart is the purchase versus the refinance index. And what it's showing is that residential home foreclosures, this is for the United States, but Eurozone is following, seeing a notable increase in foreclosures amidst the cost of living crisis. So Inflation has slowed, but it's still continuing. So housing unaffordable, but this is what they're talking about. Sticky inflation is, for the bulk of it, housing. And we'll go to the other part in a moment. So we've got also the concurrent commercial foreclosure rates also increasing significantly. This report is by Atom. So we're watching quite a significant increase over this is a total 5-year period. So all of this going on, we've got a lot of major players now. Jamie Dimon owns quite a bit more than this, but selling over $125 million of JP Morgan stock. So just kind of a slight warning. We've got other companies selling their own stocks as well. But I'd like to move into it, and I've been talking a lot about insurance lately. I don't think this can really be overstated. We've got a lot of problems that are cropping up with this. So home insurance jumping at a rate of 23% on average in the United States. This is enough to crush a lot of homeowners or business owners even. And this is, in my opinion, it's responsible for a good number of the foreclosures along with increased taxes. So we've got FEMA, stands for, if you don't know, Federal Emergency Management Association. So this is the government basically backstopping insurance, like high flooding areas and the sort. So they're overhauling their policies. And what's going on is they're doing less coverage, including more. This is government entity. So with that, we're also watching other stories. Illinois auto and home insurance, their rates keep rising, but we're seeing this across the board. And now we've got car repossessions are on the rise. So home foreclosures, car repossessions on the rise. And I think a lot of this, the insurance costs as well as the taxes have a lot to do with it. It's no longer simply pricing or interest rates. It's trickling down. So yesterday with the outage that they had in cellular coverage was not just AT&T but a lot of the resold carriers. So it's at a one level up, basically the same line sell to multiple companies. And they had an outage. They're not saying whether it was a hacking attack. They were speculating about a solar flare, but a solar flare would knock out multiple systems, not just one cell carrier. So I think it was basically hacking or they're bringing down. We had some news, their parent company is Crown Castle, and they're into recent sales. So there's more to this than meets the eye. However, converging story as well had pharmacies across the country having delays in prescription orders. But this, they admitted, is due to cyber attack. So these are increasing. We're watching the cyber wars increase. We've got currency wars. And then also we're building and sending bombs all over the world. So the tax dollars at work. So moving on, we've got the BRICS officially starting work on their common cryptocurrency. So they've been doing trade in their native currencies, and now they're making agreements on basically same thing, basket of currencies between them so that they can do local trades. This is further progress of moving outside of the US dollar. It's, as I said, going to take some more time, but they're working towards it. So it had the Eurozone and the Western world basically trying to seize Russian assets. Well, we've got another story where Russia is now seizing more than $1 billion of Germany's assets. But what happened was they were supposed to build a gas processing plant in Russia, and they have not done so. So all of their equipment for this contract for which they were prepaid, now they're seizing. So it's not the same thing. So with this, and I'm probably going to get myself into trouble here with this story, but it's coming out on multiple fronts. The jab, if you will, for the cough that came out and slowed the world is now hitting lawsuits. And this is basically not just my opinion, it's my opinion that this should have been noticed earlier. However, there's information coming out with linkages toward multiple health issues, neurological, blood, heart-related issues, and then also individually. So still, this is also another story, basically the ongoing health issues that they are just now discovering. But we spoke about this prior to it coming out, and they had suppressed this for a long time. So this is a huge story in the markets because at this moment it is AstraZeneca that is having the problems, and I'm not very bullish on their stock at the moment because of this. However, I expect it to expand. So we got a problem with the tracker updates that are basically not delivering to New York City, or they've increased their costs significantly. We've also got what has happened. A lot of businesses are now voting with their feet, leaving the state because they see that it is not a business-friendly environment when they can step in and do at will as they please, charge fines, and basically seize properties. So with them doing this, it's political shakeup, and they're backtracking, saying that it was only to get a certain individual. However, this is just more divisiveness, and they're now paying for it. So with all of this going on, we've got Putin taking flight in a nuclear-capable bomber, basically kind of showing their strength, giving in their hand a little bit about the power, and that he's not going to put up with any kind of quote-unquote bullying that is coming from the West. And then, as I said, now this other story is about water. Now Bloomberg is actually picking it up, talking about it being an asset because it is a tradable commodity now, and that there's issues with this being an invisible water grab. I've been talking about this now for a while if you've been here. So keep your water clean. Want to give a short word on immigration to the United States. I had a couple of notes. I'm not against immigration at all. I helped a friend of mine years back when it was still a thing. On a note of this, she actually defected from Russia, and I helped get her mother over here. She is now a doctor in Florida and has done very well, but she went through the process. It took her literally a few years. She learned English, went to college, got her doctorate, paid for it while working at the same time, and is now a very productive member down there in Florida, and still a good friend. We've also got another friend that has gone through the process. I'm not against immigration. I am against illegal activity and being government subsidized illegal activity. So I just wanted to bring out that clarity so people don't think that I'm horrible about that. All of this is to bring more division, more hate, and bring us against each other. So we need to do the opposite and stay together. So I wish you all a profitable day. And until I see you again, my friends, stay free.